Hey, true believers, Eric Moro from Wikia here, and I'm backstage at New York Comic Con behind the Wikia Fantasy Food Truck, where I'm about to catch up with Jeph Loeb, Gregg, and Chloe Bennett from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Here's what they had to say. The season kicked off with two really high-impact episodes, high-action episodes. What can we expect? I know you can't go into spoilers, but what can we expect in the coming season?
More of the same, more high-impact stuff. As you know, we managed to rescue Simmons from someplace. Maybe we'll find out a little bit more about that. Clark is going to be Agent Coulson. Will be
Agent Coulson?
With different hands. Every week's a new hand.
Exactly. He's got his hands full with the ACTU, ATCU. And now Daisy Johnson has superpowers. What's that like?
There's a lot less stunts for me this year, which is nice. It's more of just this, so less bruises for me this year. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of butt kicking. I mean, the fun part about the season is like all the characters have kind of shuffled around and there's new relationships. So I'm working more with Mac, and Clark's been getting to do some fun stuff with Miss Constance Zimmer, who's been awesome. You love her, right?
A lot. She runs the ATCU, kind of a rival spy organization, and watching these two try to figure out if they can trust each other is hilarious.
Well, that's what I'm loving about Agent Coulson this season is, well, I guess over the course of the seasons is you definitely see an arc, and he is a very different person than, you know, episode 1, season 1. Where's that going to continue to go?
Less ties.
Less ties, less hands. He's more serious.
We're just going to keep taking little pieces of him off.
I think he has more like swag. I would say this season there's some scenes when where Coulson's walking in and it's like, damn, I really like it.
He's fine. He's very fine.
It's an adjustment to the famed quote, whatever doesn't kill me makes me swagger.
Well, he's definitely, though, he's willing to do what it takes now in order to get the mission done, right?
Yeah.
And even if that means, you know, doing some difficult things and hard choices.
Well, I think the episode that was on last night, or 2 nights ago, which was finding a medieval chamber to activate the terrifying monolith to try to reach across the universe to get poor Fitz his Simmons back and our Simmons back, kind of shows the lengths we're willing to go. And that's one of the things I think the writers are doing so magnificently on our show right now is you introduce an idea, Simmons being gone, for instance, and yeah, it had to wait over the season break, but bam, that's already gone huge distance just in 2 episodes. Whatever's there, we're exploring fully quickly.
Now, you joke around about doing a lot of this in the season, but Daisy's really learning to control her powers and do kind of different things with them. I mean, how far is that going to go in the season?
It's actually gone farther in the episodes that we've shot than I thought that we were going to do. There's definitely some things that we've shot so far where I'm like, oh, that's crazy. I didn't know she could do that. So her powers are growing. It's been really fun to shoot. We just shot something that I can't say, and it was pretty awesome. He knows it is.
Really
I wish I could say. I know.
It's on my phone. You can't.
Can you show it to me?
We just shot something. Was that yesterday?
It was so cool that all the actors and the stunt guys and really the exhausted grips were even like, okay, I got to get this on my phone.
So her powers they've grown, and it's a lot of fun. It's cool.
Jeph, one of the things that I really love about the shows is the interconnected MCU, basically. As more shows start to premiere, as more movies come out, is that getting more difficult to kind of manage and keep track of?
No, look, we say it a lot. I think people out there look at Marvel and we look like we're, the giant octopus that's going to swallow the galaxy, which we are. But we're actually a very small company, and so everybody talks to each other, and I know I get in a lot of trouble when I say hashtag it's all connected, but it is, and we do try to figure all that stuff out ahead of time, and I think that's not just fun. What it does is it gives us an opportunity to tell stories about people and how those people's actions interact with each other. We live in a world because of social media where like what is going on around the world affects us at all times. And so we should be able to reflect that in the Marvel universe, that if there's something that's happening in S.H.I.E.L.D., that it actually is making a difference to everybody else.
Clark, on that note, does Agent Coulson know about what's going on in Hell's Kitchen and this vigilante and this PI who's got superpowers?
I don't know, but Clark sure as hell does. I was all over that, man. I was like, oh, I got to get my Charlie Cox Daredevil poster signed while I'm here today. I think that Agent Coulson, as director of S.H.I.E.L.D., he's linked into some feeds where he's hearing about all kinds of stuff, and some of that involves recruitment, especially. That's why he tasked Agent Daisy Johnson here and Agent Mac to be the kind of first responders in this global outbreak of Inhumans, because some of them might end up being secret warriors. And you know, I'm not trying to pressure anybody who might be standing near me, but this Daredevil character sure would make a nice addition to our Inhumans team.
Except he's not an Inhuman.
I mean, secret warriors.
But you never know. You know, look, I think what's fun about the show now is that because of the added element of Inhumans, it gives everyone sort of a point of view of whether or not you can trust someone with powers, whether or not people with powers should be locked up, whether or not people with powers should be trained. And when you have someone who's as prominent on the team as Daisy Johnson, it really brings it home all the time. So it's like every single time she comes into the room, she is the metaphorical, but not literal, elephant in the room.
We've been talking about this a lot, about how, you know, the storylines that have been weaving through this season really touch base with everything that's happening with, you know, LGBT rights and going on right now. And a lot of the struggle is how do we treat people that are different, and how do we go about taking care of these people who feel isolated and who are different. And so that's been a lot of the stuff that Coulson and Daisy have been, you know, dealing with the ATCU. And there are moments where it gets tense, but I think it's been fun to work with that and kind of have a voice in that way. I'm kind of proud of the writers. It's been fun.
It really is what the Marvel Universe does best.
Yeah.
It's because we're such a grounded place, because we take place in real cities and have real cars and all that stuff. Even though we have cool tech and all those other things, being able to do those kind of metaphors where we're talking about the people who are disenfranchised, talking about people who don't feel like they have a place in this world, is something that is out there. It's part of our culture right now. It's part of what's dividing us in humanity. And to be able to tell that in an entertaining way, in an action-adventure way, you know, hopefully there's some people out there that learn a little bit about tolerance. That would be something that would not be the worst thing in the world.
Now, this next question is for all three of you. The show does such a great job of bringing characters back and having them guest in different. I mean, we just saw it in Tuesday's episode, right, where we had the Asgardian character from an earlier season. Yeah, who would you like to see come back in a future episode?
I love Lady Sif. I know she's on NBC covered in tattoos right now, but she's always a really fun addition to the show. What do you think? I mean,
I have a soft spot for BJ Britt. He certainly got atomized a lot. Agent Triplet, yeah.
Nothing's ever final, right?
No, you know, so they say in the Marvel Universe you can come back from the dead. I was also really.
I swore that he went into pieces and dust in front of my eyes, though.
I know, and the same also with Raina, the character Ruth Negga played. She was also, you know, done in.
We actually just saw a cosplay Raina on the floor.
Wow, how'd it look?
She looked amazing. It was awesome. Yeah, that was.
But again, you know, for all of that, it is important that we do try to respect the storytelling in the sense that these characters are in real jeopardy, and these characters, there is a chance that someone is not ever going to come back.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you know, it's hard to say, oh, we're going to go in and one of us could die, and no, they're really not going to.
They save that for very special people.
I mean, I got to say, the other part of it is you turn around and all of a sudden, here's Constance Zimmer playing Rosalind Price, head of the ATCU. The excitement comes from some of the new people who show up constantly because of the size of the world. There are different characters because of the nature of this Inhuman outbreak around the world. Who knows who we're going to get in the next couple of episodes. I have the next episode came in last night late, and I'm kind of dying to read it to see what happens to the people we're with and what new people might be there.
Jeph, this is just purely a personal question for me, but you know, I love secret evil organizations, Spectre and James Bond, of course, Hydra, and the Marvel comics. And you guys did such a great job of bringing that to life in a very grounded in reality kind of TV series. I gotta imagine that was one of the most challenging things to actually develop as a real life entity.
Look, we had a lot of help from the movies, and Winter Soldier was extraordinary, in both as a picture and being able to accomplish that. But I have to give credit where credit's due. The writing staff, our showrunners, Jed and Marissa and Jeff Bell, you know, they always go out of their way to make sure that it feels real and feels grounded. You know, the more your enemy feels like it is a real threat, the greater the jeopardy is for our cast and for our characters. So it never, you never want to go into silly. Like, silly is our enemy.
And you got to give credit also, I think, to some of the people we've had playing these characters. First of all, and foremost, Brett Dalton, the way he has made this character so complex and terrifying, and at the same time, your heart kind of breaks for him because you feel, and you kissed him, you feel the battle, and then getting people like Bill Paxton to come in and be other faces of Hydra. It's been a really amazing crew.